Okay, so I'm just gonna start talking about knowledge. Who are we? What are we? Yeah. Yep. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Are we people? Mm-hmm. Are we? Yeah. Who are we? Yeah. Who are you? And like, yeah. That's such an interesting question. I feel like every day that's like the center of like whatever's going on is who am I? You know, trying to like fulfill who I who I am, who I believe I am, and the degree to which we don't do that is the degree to which we suffer if we're living in our thoughts and our identifications. I feel like now I strive to extend who I am to boundlessness because I feel that any thought that I have about me is like one way and not another way can be very limiting and untrue. I feel like who I really am is something that's totally open and totally free and it's all encompassing. Yeah, it's like ever exuberant. It's all inclusive. I feel like it's not just who I am. Like, that's what everyone is. That's what everything is. Is this huge thing. It's really freaking crazy. Like that's what I try to be every day is that. Like I want that to, I don't know, inspire me, I guess. But I think a lot of us, we're much more identified with our identifications, like male, female, what's your role as a male or a female or whatever. We have these ideas about who we are and we try and live up to those ideas. And the degree to which we live up to them is the degree to which we're happy, and the degree to which we don't is the degree to which we suffer. And I've been just super immersed in the idea of transcending those and including them, really becoming something that's beyond identification with thought identities. That these thought identities, they aren't bad. Through our identification with roles and conditions and cultural beliefs that put us in these roles, through identification with these things, we gain sense and understanding of the world. And through life, we grow into and outgrow and grow into new roles and gain more perspective and more wisdom. And eventually we realize, or we may realize, that we're in fact something far greater than these roles that we play, these identities and these identifications and these attachments. We're something far greater, and it's really incredible to wake up to that. It's really, really, really incredible. Yeah. You can't step across the pond. You gotta take all the steps across. Can't throw out the ego. You can't throw out the evolving mind and the evolving intellect. They're pretty sweet. We awaken through them. And I learned in the last couple of years that I sort of grew all the way out, and I guess I've learned how to embrace life. Yeah. And how for so long I was running away from limited things and from things that were imperfect in my eyes. In like my search for truth and for God and for the infinite, I wished to push aside all temporary limited things, and I think that was sort of necessary to realize the transcendent. And after that, I slowly started to realize that I'm human and I'm here, and that there's nothing wrong with being limited and ignorant. And that it's okay to be that way, and it's a part of like the full expression of ourselves to embrace our physical and our mental and our personal structures and to live through them. I just learn like just unconditional love for everything. Like everything. and just total acceptance of everything as much as I can, as much as we can. And like, I've learned so much how no matter who you are, like, no one's worse or better than you because you are the same as them. Like, we are one or none, you know? I can't be better than you, you can't be better than me, because there's nothing different between us. Yeah. And then there's really nothing better about being good, because good isn't different from bad, because everything is like one. And so, like, to strive to be good, it can be a great and good thing, and wonderful and awesome and part of it all. But also, it's like totally not necessary. You don't need to worry about it, about being good or bad, because as you are, like, you can do no better, you can be no bigger. You already are the whole. And that's a really interesting thing. I think, like, what anyone could take from this is that it's really powerful to be able to embrace who you are right now, and to love yourself as you are, and to learn to see yourself as you are right now, and to be able to be present and to be mindful of if you're running away from who you are because you want to be something else. Do you really know who you are? Are you turning away from who you actually are and what you actually feel? And also, one of the things I've learned a lot is how outer success, or just success in general, really isn't all that important. Like, it's way more important to like love yourself and to be loved, and to like know who you are and to be okay with who you are. Doesn't matter how well you do, like, at all, really. Like, it's so important to just love who you are and to love other people. And if we can do this and we don't judge each other, we'll just like love each other and enjoy each other. And we don't need to worry about anything because we'll just take care of it. We're just so afraid that we get really isolated and get hostile and afraid. We really just need to love each other. Like, it takes a lot of courage to turn inwards and to start feeling what you feel, and to figure out who you are, and to change your life, to have more integrity, because our society is pretty heavily focused on success, outward success, I guess you could say, and not on like being true to yourself, really. I mean, it is in a lot of ways. Perhaps way more than it used to, but there's a lot of stuff that gets in the way of actually doing that. And like to do that means having faith in simply who you are and simply what is. And perhaps like turning away from like what people call like common sense and like being practical. But I think we're over concerned with security, and we're like afraid of who we are, and we're afraid of life at the expense of really living and being ourselves. It takes courage to open up, to be vulnerable. You have to like maybe change who you hang out with, and maybe people aren't gonna like it that much. You don't really know. And there might not be a lot of people doing it around you. You have to figure out how to do it yourself. But it could also be really joyful and liberating. Depends on who you are. A bit of both. Yeah. And I think people who do that, they have a certain amount of strength because they have a certain awareness of what it takes to survive in this society, in this world, and they know that, or they feel comfortable enough, or confident enough that they can take on this additional task of turning their attention more inwards and discovering like their truer nature, their truer feelings. So I think this strength, yeah. It's like perhaps instinctually you people that can turn inwards, they instinctually know that, or they can calculate that they sort of got these basics down, and that they can move some of their attention to something else. So, yeah. And I think for me it was like I sort of knew how it worked, like the world that I was aware of. And my passion was strong enough to look inward that I did, and also the good feelings of it were strong enough to make me feel safe doing it. Yeah. So like whoever you are, wherever you are, as you are, it's okay. Like there's love inside of you, there's love surrounding you. You're like totally, totally full and free right now. It's right there, right here with you. You got it. Just calm down. Take a deep breath. Figure out what makes you tick. All right. Peace.